Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, HeRestoresMe. I hope you're well and I hope you've had a great past 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks since I last recorded a video. And today the video is going to be about talking about schizophrenia, which is a form of psychosis. It's something that's very close to my heart since I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I think it's one of the most misunderstood mental health conditions, so it's definitely relevant to talk about it. So if you didn't realize, there's normally a similar structure for these Let's Talk videos. The first part is normally about what is the mental health problem, and the second part is normally the symptoms, sometimes statistics and the causes, and then finally the treatments. So it's going to be very similar in this video as well. You may be wondering, what is schizophrenia? You've probably heard the word before, but you don't exactly know what it is. Schizophrenia is a psychiatric disorder. This is a disorder involving significant changes in thinking, emotion, and behavior, and distress or problems functioning in social, work, or family activities. Schizophrenia means a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality, and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and a sense of mental fragmentation. In other words, you may experience symptoms of psychosis, which could be thinking things that aren't real, or seeing things or hearing things that may not be real. There are interesting statistics regarding schizophrenia, but one of the most shocking statistics is that 1 in 100 people experience schizophrenia. That is 1 in 100 people in the population. So let's say you have 500 friends on your social media. It's very possible that 5 of them experience schizophrenia. There's undifferentiated schizophrenia, there's catatonic, paranoid, and disorganized. Catatonic is when you experience problems with your motor abilities, so you may just freeze for a long time and you are not able to talk or do anything, and you can't move. And then there's paranoid schizophrenia. This is when you experience delusions, and you normally are the person who's a victim in these delusions. It's quite serious because you start to doubt people who are around you, you start to doubt loads of different things. Then there's disorganized schizophrenia, which is when you experience disturbances of thought. You have signs of emotion, especially silly laughter, that are inappropriate to the circumstances. So you may just laugh uncontrollably and there's no reason for it. You need at least 2 of the following symptoms to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. This could be delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized catatonic behavior, or negative symptoms. There are positive and negative symptoms with schizophrenia. Some of the positive symptoms are things that I've mentioned already, like delusions, hallucinations. There's also incoherent speech or thought. You're not thinking logically. Some of the negative symptoms are reduction of emotional expression, and then there's reduction or absence of speech. There's also reduction or absence of motivation, and remaining motionless for long periods of time. So when it comes to the potential causes, sometimes people think, is it nature or nurture? There's not exactly a specific gene that is related to schizophrenia, so there isn't enough evidence to say that it's completely genetic. But there are definitely some factors, some environmental factors that could affect schizophrenia. One of them is stress. My advice, if you feel stressed, is definitely try and find ways to distress. I saw a post the other day, I think it was today, from Mental Health Foundation, and they were talking about how walking is really helpful for reducing stress. And I think it's definitely important to check in with yourself to see how you're feeling. There's definitely ways that you can control some of the environmental factors. Traumatic injury could also cause schizophrenia, infections, autoimmune reactions, and definitely the use of drugs. Getting the wrong medication could cause psychosis or schizophrenia. There are different ways you can treat schizophrenia. Medication can help. Antipsychotics are normally the best medication, but I'm not a psychiatrist, so definitely speak to a psychiatrist or your GP if you feel like you need to be on medication to control your mental health. There's also natural remedies. I love to use magnesium. Magnesium can really help reduce your stress levels, so you could get magnesium bath salts and just relax in a bath of magnesium. And we can't forget about talking therapies. Talking therapies can be a great way to deal with what you're going through, because it can be very traumatic when you're experiencing a psychotic episode. So dealing with that is one of the best things to do than to just ignore the experiences. Definitely look into different ways to treat your psychosis or schizophrenia. It's really hard for me to think of just one piece of advice to give someone who experiences schizophrenia, but if I was to give one piece of advice, the advice would be stay positive. Or if you aren't positive right now, think positive. It's not easy because it sometimes feels like it's the worst thing in the world to experience schizophrenia. I know I used to think that before I experienced it. And then when I did, I thought, no, this is like hell. This is terrible. Because when you feel like you don't know what's the truth and your mind is controlling you rather than you controlling your mind, it's quite scary. But the truth is, you have other things around you that are going well. Focus on the things that have gone well in the past, things that are going well, even in your current situation. I remember in the past, a lovely lady who used to be my care coordinator when I was receiving support from the mental health team said that if I go into hospital again, the good thing is that I have a supporting family and I also have a mental health team that care about me. It put things into perspective, and I realized even when I don't know what's the truth, there are people there that are looking out for me. And that was a way that I was able to think positive and think, you know what, even if I was to get into this situation again, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember listening to a TED Talks about schizophrenia where the lady said, sometimes it snows as late as May, but summer always comes. So there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and there is hope even in the midst of chaos. So don't worry, you will be able to overcome. I always say this, but you will, and you have to believe it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learnt some valuable lessons, and I hope that you took away something positive from this. I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. So stay blessed, never stress, and always do your best. Bye!